Welcome to PaleriderTV. We had that bridge collapse this morning up there in Baltimore, causing major concerns with shipping and everything. Here's a little short video I put together. Some of the images coming out of Baltimore this morning. Key Bridge, Francis Scott Key Bridge up there on 695, going over the name of that river, Patapsco, which eventually ends up out in the Chesapeake Bay. And the shipping lane through there is crazy. And what kind of impact is this going to have on shipping, trucking in general? It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a while to get through this. Are they going to rebuild the bridge? What's going to happen? All that is, the ports up there, I believe, right now are closed. No inbound, no outbound container ships or anything. So who knows how long that's going to be. So what port is going to be available for this? I don't know. As soon as this video plays, we're going to go here and check out this article from Freight Waves. It kind of explains the impact of this going to have. Just going to check with some of my spot market buddies, freight brokers, and see what kind of impact this is going to have on trucking. So let me see if I can find this article, share it, and we'll read it and go over it. But this is going to be a mess, not counting the traffic. Let's see. Figure this out like I'm a rookie live stream, so give me a second here. I went live this morning, did a little story about this not long after it first started hitting the news. Got up this morning, checked my phone, and first thing that came up was this. So here we go. Baltimore bridge collapse disrupts traffic, port operations after ship collision. Search and rescue operations underway. Significant impact on East Coast freight movement anticipated. Yes, it's still intact right there. That's the Key Bridge, 695. Of course, we all know about this part. A large section of the Key Bridge in Baltimore collapsed early Tuesday morning after a container ship collided. The incident sent vehicles into the water, initiating a large-scale search and rescue operation, and has serious implications for one of the busiest ports in the U.S. East Coast. The Port of Baltimore announced at approximately 8 a.m. Eastern that it was closed for inbound and outbound vessel traffic. It did say that truck operations at terminals inside the port would continue. But the bridge collapse effectively sets up a wall between the port and Chesapeake Bay. There does not appear to be any other inbound or outbound way between the port and the shipping lanes, raising the question of how long this key terminal will be closed. Not good at all. Not good at all. The Maryland Transportation Authority is advising against the use of Interstate 695, a key route for Baltimore's commuters and freight movement following the collapse. The bridge plays a vital role in commercial shipping access to the Port of Baltimore, a major hub for autos, light trucks, and various bulk goods. It is the easternmost way of getting across the Port of Baltimore. The actual waterway the bridge collapsed into is the Patapsco River, which ultimately flows into Chesapeake Bay, and there its end forms the boundaries of the Port of Baltimore. Alternate routes for trucks that bypass the Key Bridge are a tunnel on Interstate 895 under the Baltimore Harbor, a tunnel on Interstate 95 under the harbor, or Interstate 695 on the west side of Baltimore. The bridge is part of Interstate 695, the Baltimore Loop, on the east side of the city. But Little side note here: if you're hazmat, you won't be able to take that tunnel on 95 or 895, so you will have to use the west side of Interstate 695, which I would probably go that way anyway if I didn't have any other choice. So it's 95, and it's going to be a mess going through there. The east side of 695 is closed. All right, article continues. The Maryland Transportation Authority on its X feed noted that vehicles transporting hazardous materials may not use either the I-95 Fort McHenry or 895 Baltimore Hobart tunnels. To get around Baltimore, they will need to use I-695 on the west side of the city. That's what I just said. Additionally, MDTA said on X that vehicles in excess of 13.6 in height or 8 feet in width are prohibited from using the Baltimore Harbor Tunnel on I-895. For the Fort McHenry Tunnel, which is part of I-95 through the heart of Baltimore, the limits are 14.6 and 11 feet in width. Went through that tunnel many a time, going and coming. I used to run the East Coast all the time, Northeast Coast. Initial reports indicate possible. Hold on, I skipped a little bit here. Paul Weatherfield, Maryland's transportation secretary, said the water where the bridge was struck is about 50 feet deep, complicating search and rescue operations. Yeah, and that water is murky through there, so I'm sure visibility is real bad. The U.S. Coast Guard and dive teams are currently searching for survivors, with Baltimore's fire chief noting the additional challenges posed by the water's current. Initial reports indicate possible multiple casualties. The effort to locate survivors is critical, with water temperatures around 47 degrees Fahrenheit adding to the urgency. That's cold. You don't think 47 degrees is that cold, but you get in that water, your body temperature, hypothermia is on set in quickly. During a press conference, Moore said that a mayday had been sent and that vehicle traffic on the bridge was stopped right before its collapse. It's unclear if any passenger vehicles traveling on the bridge at the time went into the water. Officials said there is no indication of foul play. Now, that's good news right there, at least a little bit of good news. This wasn't not suspecting any terrorism. The Dolly, the Singapore flagship involved, was carrying around 4,900 containers at the time of the collision. It hit the bridge while under pilotage, disrupting not just the vessel's journey from the U.S. to Sri Lanka, but also operations at the port and the flow of traffic on surrounding roadways. News reports said the Dolly was chartered by Maersk, but managed by the Synergy Group. Reports also say the ship was owned by Singapore's Grace Ocean Pte. The statement published by the Synergy Group about the crash said there was no casualties on the ship and no fuel was spilled. That's good also. Maryland Governor Westmore has declared a state of emergency and is seeking federal assistance. The bridge's collapse not only affects local commuters, but also pose challenges to freight transportation, especially as the Easter holiday weekend approaches. That's right, Easter is coming up this weekend. The Port of Baltimore, known for handling a large volume of imports and exports, faces immediate operation hurdles. Yes, it's going to be a mess. Authorities are focused on rescue operations and determining the full extent of the disruption to commerce and traffic. One social media observation about the crash is that in terms of its impact on logistics, the West Coast ports, battered by pandemic-driven movement toward East Coast ports, now face the prospect of another development that suddenly makes Long Beach and Los Angeles look more attractive. Avoiding East Coast ports to skip the limits on a drought-stricken Panama Canal already were seen as helping the West Coast ports. Add to that any avoidance of the East Coast as a knock-on effect from the threat to shipping in the Red Sea and Suez Canal. And now one of the East Coast's biggest ports effectively has a steel blockade that is likely to take months to remove. Yes. It's strange. One ship carrying 4,900 containers can disrupt the whole world, the whole global shipping movement. That's crazy. Judith Levine, head of research at Freightos, the international shipping transaction and payment platform, laid out the impact on shipping in email to freight waves, with most of Baltimore's port terminals and all of its container terminals behind the collapsed bridge. Containerized exports at or planning to depart from Baltimore will either need to wait until the waterway reopens or be rerouted by truck or rail to alternate ports, which could include Philadelphia, or more likely the more major hubs like Norfolk or New York, New Jersey. Exports choosing those options just face increased trucking and rail rates if enough volumes are shifted to other ports. The line said container vessels are scheduled to arrive in Baltimore between now and Saturday. Excuse me there. Diversions could cause some congestion at alternate ports, meaning delays for importers, the line said. The quarterly container volumes at Baltimore are only about 13% of those handled at the port of New York, New Jersey. Baltimore imports should be able to be shifted to other ports without causing too much of a disruption. Well, what do you know? Well, you have it. There it is. That's the article on FreightWaves. Go check it out, freightwaves.com. And they cover that story, that impact. That's why I was wondering what kind of impact it's going to have on trucking, shipping, and everything. What's going to happen to the rates? I don't know. Don't know. Let's play this video one more time. Let you know what's going on. If you're not up to date on this, what happened this morning, I'm sure you probably heard about it already. I know I've been watching. I have it on the news. All day coverage on this. I think President Biden just gave a report. Not sure what he said, but here it is. A ship, man. Yeah. There's other videos out there. Live from this morning when the ship hit the bridge and just took it down like it was some kind of a toy bridge or something. It's crazy. And you can see there's some workers on the bridge. You know, they had the emergency lights going right before the ship hit the bridge. So some vehicles going over the bridge also, and it's crazy. I used to go over that bridge quite a bit back in the day. I usually if I had to go up into New Jersey or something, I used to on I-95. I had to go around. I usually went around Baltimore. Depending on what time of day, you know, I take that 695 right over that Key Bridge. Sure enough, did used to pick up loads over that way, that east side of Baltimore over there. Sometimes, so yep, always took the Key Bridge, in and out of that area, and I'm taking that bridge no more. Bridge is constructed and open, I think, in 1977. So I hate to say it's probably time for a new bridge, but I didn't want to see it happen this way. That's crazy. It's going to have to be rebuilt now or something. Something's going to have to be done. I'm sure they're going to figure something out where this could not happen again like that. That's crazy, man. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what the impact is going to be. It's too early to tell yet. So that's it. So let me know down in the comment section what y'all think about this, and any updates, I'll bring them right here on the PaleriderTV YouTube channel. So I appreciate everybody watching. Everybody have a good day and stay safe.